Welcome to Through the Bible in a Year with Pastor John. We invite you to join us at 1 Oakleigh Avenue in North Providence, Rhode Island. This podcast is presented to you by The Way Ministries, supported by listeners like you. For donations, live videos, podcasts, and more, please visit www.thewayministriesri.org. Thank you and have a great day.
Hi everybody, welcome to Through the Bible in a Year with Pastor John. Glad you could join me today to get a portion of God's Word. Today we're going to begin with day 65, March 5th, Joshua chapters 18 to 21. Portions for 7 tribes. Overview. 7 tribes have yet to receive their hard-earned inheritance, a portion of the Promised Land. After ordering a survey of the land, Joshua divides it into 7 parcels and distributes it by lot. In addition, 6 cities of refuge are designated to protect those who have killed someone accidentally. The Levites, whose inheritance is the priesthood rather than property, are given 48 cities in which to live. With the tabernacle in place at Shiloh, the task of dividing up the land is complete. Chapter 18 and chapter 19, portions for Benjamin and 6 tribes, a hard-earned reward. Chapter 20 and chapter 21, protection for slayers, provision for Levites, a gracious refuge. Insight, growing room for the tribe of Dan, Joshua 19, 40 to 48. Dan's allotment was a small territory compressed between the northwest hills of Judah and the Mediterranean Sea, a portion that proved too small for Dan's numerous families, chapter 19, 40 to 48. The majority of the tribe migrated farther north and settled in Laish, where they began to drift into idolatry, Judges chapter 18. Insight, the end of a 6-century wait, Joshua 21, 43 to 45. Many of God's promises for Israel had been given 6 centuries earlier. Verses 21, 43 to 45 use emphatic language to express how thoroughly those promises were fulfilled. All the land, rest on every side, none of their enemies, all their enemies, and all the good promises. God's integrity is just as reliable in your life today. Whenever He makes a promise, no matter how unlikely it seems, He will fulfill it. Joshua chapter 18, the allotments of the remaining land. Now that the land was under Israelite control, the entire community of Israel gathered at Shiloh and set up the tabernacle. But there remained 7 tribes who had not yet been allotted their grants of land. Then Joshua asked them, "How long are you going to wait before taking possession of the remaining land the Lord, the God of your ancestors, has given to you? Select 3 men from each tribe, and I will send them out to explore the land and map it out. They will then return to me with a written report of their proposed divisions of their new homeland. Let them divide the land into 7 sections, excluding Judah's territory in the south and Joseph's territory in the north. And when you record the 7 divisions of land and bring them to me, I will cast sacred lots in the presence of the Lord our God to assign land to each tribe. The Levites, however, will not receive any allotment of land. Their role as priests of the Lord is their allotment. And the tribes of Gad, Reuben, and the half-tribe of Manasseh won't receive any more land, for they have already received their grant of land, which Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave them on the east side of the Jordan River." As the men started on their way to map out the land, Joshua commanded them, "Go and explore the land and write a description of it. Then return to me, and I will assign the land to the tribes by casting sacred lots here in the presence of the Lord at Shiloh." The men did as they were told and mapped the entire territory into 7 sections, listing the towns in each section. They made a written record and then returned to Joshua in the camp at Shiloh. And there at Shiloh, Joshua cast sacred lots in the presence of the Lord to determine which tribe should have each section. The land given to Benjamin. The first allotment of land went to the clans of the tribe of Benjamin. It lay between the territory assigned to the tribes of Judah and Joseph. The northern boundary of Benjamin's land began at the Jordan River and went north of the slope of Jericho, then west through the hill country in the wilderness of Beth Aven. From there, the boundary went south to Luz, that is Bethel, and proceeded down Ataroth Adah on the hill that lies south of lower Beth Horon. The boundary then made a turn and swung south along the western edge of the hill facing Beth Horon, ending at the village of Kiriath Baal, that is Kiriath Jearim, a town belonging to the tribe of Judah. This was the western boundary. The southern boundary began at the outskirts of Kiriath Jearim. From that western point, it ran to the spring at the waters of Nephtoah, and down to the base of the mountain beside the valley of Ben Hinnom, at the northern end of the valley of Rephaim. From there, it went down the valley of Hinnom, crossing south of the slope where the Jebusites lived, and continued down to En Rogel. From En Rogel, the boundary proceeded in a northern direction and came to En Shemesh and on to Gilead, which is across from the slopes of Adamim. Then it went down to the stone of Bohan. Bohan was Reuben's son. From there it passed along the north side of the slope overlooking the Jordan Valley. The border then went down into the valley, ran past the north slope of Beth Hogla, and ended at the north bay of the Dead Sea, which is the southern end of the Jordan River. This was the southern boundary. The eastern boundary was the Jordan River. These were the boundaries of the homeland allocated to the clans of the tribe of Benjamin. The towns given to Benjamin. These were the towns given to the clans of the tribe of Benjamin: Jericho, Beth Hogla, Emek Keziz, Beth Araba, Zem Aramam, Bethel, Avim, Terah, Oprah, Kephah Amani, Ophni, and Geba, 12 towns with their surrounding villages. Also Gibeon, Ramah, Berat, Mizpah, Kifra, Mozah, Rakem, Irpeel, Tarala, Zillah, Halaf, Jebus, that is Jerusalem, Gibeah, and Kiriath Jearim, 14 towns with their surrounding villages. This was the homeland allocated to the clans of the tribe of Benjamin. Joshua chapter 19. The land given to Simeon. The second allotment of land went to the clans of the tribe of Simeon. Their homeland was surrounded by Judah's territory. Simeon's homeland included Beersheba, Sheba, Moholadah, Hazar Shual, Bela, Ezam, El Talad, Bethel, Hormah, Ziklag, Beth Makapath, Hazarashath, Beth Laboath, and Sheruin, 13 towns with their surrounding villages. It also included Ain, Rimmon, Ether, and Ashan. 4 towns with their villages included all the surrounding villages as far south as Baalat Beer, also known as Ramah of the Negev. This was a homeland allocated to the clans of the tribe of Simeon. Their allocation of land came from part of what had been given to Judah because Judah's territory was too large for them. So the tribe of Simeon received an allocation within the territory of Judah, the land given to Zebulun. The third allotment of land went to the clans of the tribe of Zebulun. The boundary of Zebulun's homeland started at Sarid. From there it went west, going past Maralah, touching the Jabbeth, and proceeding to the brook east of Jokneam. In the other direction, the boundary went east from Sarid to the border of Kisloth Tabor, and from there to Dabaroth, and up to Japhia. Then it continued east to Gath Hefer, Eth Kazin, and Raman, and turned towards Nia. The northern boundary of Zebulun passed Hanathon and ended at the valley of Iftah El. The towns in these areas included Katah, Nahalal, Shimron, Adalah, and Bethlehem, 12 towns with their surrounding villages. The homeland allocated to the clans of the tribe of Zebulun included these towns and their surrounding villages. The land given to Issachar. The fourth allotment of land went to the clans of the tribe of Issachar. Its boundaries included the following towns: Jezreel, Kesheloth, Shunem, and Hapharim, Shine, Anaroth, Rabbah, Kishion, Ibaz, Ramoth, and Ganim, and Hadar, and Beth Hazezez. The boundary also touched Tabor, Shahazamara, and Beth Shemesh, ending at the Jordan River, 16 towns with their surrounded villages. The homeland allocated to the clans of the tribe of Issachar included these towns and their surrounding villages. The land given to Asher. The fifth allotment of land went to the clans of the tribe of Asher. Its boundaries included these towns: Helkath, Halai, Bethan, Akshaph, Alamelech, Amad, and Mishal. The boundary on the west touched Carmel and Shahiha Livnath. Then it turned east towards Beth Dagon and ran as far as Zebulun in the valley of Ephatat El, going north to Beth Emek and Niel. It then continued north to Kabul, Abdon, Rahab, Haman, Kanah, and as far as Greater Sidon. Then the boundary turned toward Ramah in the fortress of Tyre, where it turned towards Hosah, and it came to the Mediterranean Sea. The territory also included Mahebo, Akzib, Umnah, Aphek, and Rahab, 22 towns with their surrounding villages. The homeland allocated to the clans of the tribe of Asher included these towns and their surrounding villages. The land given to Naphtali. The sixth allotment of land went to the clans of the tribe of Naphtali. Its boundary ran from Heleph, from the oak at Zanaman, and extended across to Adamai Nakib, Jabneel, and as far as Lakum, ending at the Jordan River. The western boundary ran past Asnath Tabor, then to Hakuk, and then touched the border of Zebulun in the south, the border of Asher on the west, and the Jordan River on the east. The fortified towns included this territory were Zedim, Zer, Hamath, Rakat, Kinneret, Adama, Ramah, Hazor, Kadesh, Edrei, and Hazar, Yaran, Migdal El, Harem, Beth Anath, and Beth Shemesh, 19 towns with their surrounding villages. The homeland allocated to the clans of the tribe of Naphtali included these towns and their surrounding villages. The land given to Dan. The seventh allotment of land went to the clans of the tribe of Dan. The land allocated as their homeland included the following towns: Zorah, Eshtaol, Ir Shemesh, Shalabin, Ajalan, Italah, Elan, Timnah, Ekron, Eltekeh, Gibbethon, Beerath, Jahud, Bnei Barak, Gath Ramon, Me Jagan, Rakan, and the territory across from Joppa. But the tribe of Dan had trouble taking possession of their land, so they attacked the town of Laish. They captured it, slaughtered its people, and settled there. They renamed the town Dan after their ancestor. The homeland allocated to the clans of the tribe of Dan included these towns and their surrounding villages. The land given to Joshua. After all the land was divided among the tribes, the Israelites gave a piece of land to Joshua as his allocation. For the Lord had said he could have any town he wanted. He chose Timnath, Serah, in the hill country of Ephraim. He rebuilt the town and lived there. These are the territories that Eleazar the priest, Joshua, son of Nun, and the tribal leaders allocated as grants of land to the tribes of Israel by casting sacred lots in the presence of the Lord at the entrance of the tabernacle at Shiloh. So the division of the land was completed. Joshua chapter 20. The cities of refuge. The Lord said to Joshua, "Now tell the Israelites to designate the cities of refuge as I instructed Moses. Anyone who kills another person accidentally and unintentionally can run to one of these cities. They will be places of refuge from relatives seeking revenge for the person who was killed. Upon reaching one of these cities, the one who caused the death will appear before the elders at the city gate and present his case. They must allow him to enter the city and give him a place to live among them. If the relatives of the victim come to avenge the killing, the leaders must not release the slayer to them, for he killed the other person unintentionally and without previous hostility. But the slayer must stay in that city and be tried by the local assembly, which will render a judgment, and he must continue to live in that city until the death of the high priest who was in office at the time of the accident. After that, he is free to return to his own home in the town from which he fled. The following cities were designated as cities of refuge: Kadesh of Galilee, in the hill country of Naphtali; Shechem, in the hill country of Ephraim; and Kiriath Arba, that is, Hebron, in the hill country of Judah. On the east side of the Jordan River, across from Jericho, the following cities were designated: Bezer, in the wilderness plain of the tribe of Reuben; Ramoth in Gilead, in the territory of the tribe of Gad; and Golan in Bashan, in the land of the tribe of Manasseh. These cities were set apart for all the Israelites as well as the foreigners living among them. Anyone who accidentally killed another person could take refuge in one of these cities. In this way, they could escape being killed in revenge prior to standing trial before the local assembly. Joshua chapter 21. The towns given to the Levites. Then the leaders of the tribe of Levi came to consult with Eleazar the priest, Joshua son of Nun, and the leaders of the other tribes of Israel. They came to them at Shiloh in the land of Canaan and said, "The Lord commanded Moses to give us towns to live in pasture land for our livestock." So by the command of the Lord, the people of Israel gave the Levites the following towns and pasture lands out of their own grants of land. The descendants of Aaron, who were members of the Kohathite clan with the tribe of Levi, were allotted 13 towns that were originally assigned to the tribes of Judah, Simeon, and Benjamin. The other families of the Kohathite clan were allotted 10 towns from the tribes of Ephraim, Dan, and the half-tribe of Manasseh. The clan of Gershon was allotted 13 towns from the tribes of Issachar, Asher, Naphtali, and the half-tribe of Manasseh in Bashan. The clan of Merari was allotted 12 towns from the tribes of Reuben, Gad, and Zebulun. So the Israelites obeyed the Lord's command to Moses and assigned these towns and pasture lands to the Levites by casting sacred lots. The Israelites gave the following towns from the tribes of Judah and Simeon to the descendants of Aaron, who were members of the Kohathite clan within the tribe of Levi, since the sacred lot fell to them first. Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron, in the hill country of Judah, along with the surrounding pasture lands. Arba was an ancestor of Anak, but the open fields beyond the town and the surrounding villages were given to Caleb, son of Jephunneh, as his possession. The following towns with their pasture lands were given to the descendants of Aaron the priest: Hebron, a city of refuge for those who accidentally kill someone; Libnah, Jatir, Eshtemoa, Holon, Debir, Ain, Juttah, and Beth Shemesh, 9 towns from these 2 tribes. From the tribe of Benjamin, the priests were given the following towns with their pasture lands: Gibeon, Geba, Anathoth, and Almon, 4 towns. So in all, 13 towns with their pasture lands were given to the priests, the descendants of Aaron. The rest of the Kohathite clan from the tribe of Levi was allotted the following towns and pasture lands from the tribe of Ephraim: Shechem, in the hill country of Ephraim, a city of refuge for those who accidentally kill someone; Giza, Kibzaim, and Beth Haran, 4 towns. The following towns and pasture lands were allotted to the priests from the tribe of Dan: El-Tekeh, Gibbethon, and Jalan, and Gath Ramon, 4 towns. The half-tribe of Manasseh allotted the following towns with their pasture lands to the priests: Tanakh and Gath Ramon, 2 towns. So in all, 10 towns with their pasture land were given to the rest of the Kohathite clan. The descendants of Gershon, another clan within the tribe of Levi, received the following towns with their pasture lands from the half-tribe of Manasseh: Golan in Bashan, a city of refuge for those who accidentally kill someone; and Beth-Sheret, 2 towns. From the tribe of Issachar, they received the following towns with their pasture lands: Kishion, Dabaroth, Jarmuth, and En-Ganim, 4 towns. From the tribe of Asher, they received the following towns with their pasture lands: Mashal, Abdon, Helkath, and Rehob, 4 towns. From the tribe of Naphtali, they received the following towns with their pasture lands: Kadesh in Galilee, a city of refuge for those who accidentally kill someone; Hamath Dor, and Kartan, 3 towns. So in all, 13 towns with their pasture lands were allotted to the clan of Gershon. The rest of the Levites, the Merari clan, were given the following towns with their pasture lands from the tribe of Zebulun: Jokneam, Qatar, Dimnah, and Nahalal, 4 towns. From the tribe of Reuben, they received the following towns with their pasture land: Bazer, Jahaz, Ket Hamath, and Mephatah, 4 towns. From the tribe of Gad, they received the following towns with their pasture lands: Ramoth in Gilead, a city of refuge for those who accidentally kill someone; Mahanaim, Heshbon, and Jazer, 4 towns. So in all, 12 towns were allotted to the clan of Merari. The total number of towns and pasture lands within Israelite territory given to the Levites came to 48. Every one of these towns had pasture land surrounding it. So the Lord gave to Israel all the land he had sworn to give their ancestors, and they took possession of it and settled there. And the Lord gave them rest on every side, just as he had solemnly promised their ancestors. None of their enemies could stand against them, for the Lord helped them conquer all their enemies. Not a single one of all the good promises the Lord had given to the family of Israel was left unfulfilled. Everything he had spoken came true. My daily walk. Today's passage will either excite you or embalm you. On the surface, it appears to be little more than a long list of unknown towns, obscure families, and geographic details. You'll be tempted to skim the material and skip the blessing God has for you. Put yourself in Joshua's sandals for a moment. Imagine that your home state is the promised land. For 7 long years you have been taking stronghold after stronghold in the quest to rid the land of its pagan occupants. Then one morning trumpets blare forth the news: the war is over, the land is yours, victory is complete. It's time to celebrate and to learn which part of the new territory will be your home. The lists of towns after town and of borders ranging mile after mile are an overflowing account of the fulfillment of God's promise. Does that do anything for your faith in God and your confidence in His promises to care for you? If so, write the words of Philippians 4:19 on a card, sign it, and date it. Let it be a reminder today and every day that you are taking God at His word. God will keep all His promises whether you believe them or not. That's all for today, my friends. It was great reading along with you. Have a great day, and God bless. And I will see you tomorrow, Lord willing. Peace.